What's good with it? In the hood with it? You already know what it is. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here goes another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I said, what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's a torta with a snack habit. Bye, bye, bye. Orale, as you can tell by the thumbnail right there, the question that everybody has on their mind, and not a lot of people they don't speak it, right? Will the Nortenos and the Sureños, the Southsiders, ever come together in unity as one? Um, it's something I thought of for many years. Something that's played over and over again and again in my mind. And I thought, like, hey, ¿sabes qué? It's quite a possibility. Hey, never say never, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know how people are going to wake up and feel, those that are the power to be and those that are in position to make that call, how they feel that day. ¿Sabes qué? They might just get up and be like, fuck, es la primera. It's all good, right? Then again, don't rock the boat if the boat don't need to be rocked, right? Don't get to rocking, because it's something that myself, you as a viewer, people, we don't have no dictation over. We can't call it like an alcoholic. We can't make that happen. All we can is open our ears and our eyes to what's going on around us and show canalismo, show love to those that you really don't know nothing about. Now, the question gets asked to me all the time, hey, Gunner, personally, what do you think? Do you ever see North and South unity? And I say, one could only hope does one. The wind blows every day, and that question gets answered. And the answer is, one way or the other, it's all about the raza. It's all about what we do as people daily. That's how that's going to be figured out, man. There's a lot of bloodshed. Let's be honest with you, man. Since I was a kid, I seen bloodshed. I seen things that the average man shouldn't see. I got caught up in a lot of situations, North and South, and a lot less, now that I think about it, a lot less than I would have thunk, right? Than I would have thought would happen. But there were issues, there were issues because it was instilled in us to hate each other, the hatred, especially up north in Northern California. I can't speak for Southern California because they had a lot of other things going on, man. There was so much going on from barrio to barrio with their warfare, their guerra, that I can't really speak on them. But as far as Northern California goes, we definitely had our interactions, and there definitely was one side or the other, plotting on the others. That's just how it was. I could sit here and I could tell you stories about what used to go on, in these garages when it was just nothing but the homeboys were kicking back and we're talking about the other side, right? And a lot of people did it in disrespectful terms. And I myself, I'm going to keep it real. I thought that the Southerners were beneath us at that time. I thought that, we were fighting for a cause for our people that was unwavering, and it was unrivaled, right? Meaning we were right and they were wrong no matter what they say or what they done. I mean, I didn't care if the vatos ate tortillas like me. I didn't care if they looked like me. I didn't care if my primos were from the South, right? They were going to lose and we were going to win was my mindset. That was my mentality. And I was wrong. I was wrong on a lot of fronts. I was wrong by having that way of thinking, but that was the younger mentality, the warrior in me, right? As I got older and I grew to know some of these fellas, man, and do time with them, I came to realize, man, that they earned their respect just like we did. There's always going to be that stigma there that the Northerners are more structured or that they have to go through more hardships or more struggles. And that's furthest from the truth, gente. Spensa Latina. I'm just being real. That's furthest from the truth. The truth of the matter is everybody goes through hardships and struggles. Every group, every gang. And to be totally honest with you, man, I could sit here and tell you and bullshit you and say that, we were the hardest and couldn't no one fuck with us, man. But we took a lot of bodies, just like everyone else took a lot of bodies. We took a lot of failures. We took a lot of losses. Everybody takes an L, but one thing that defined me as a person was understanding. I always had understanding. I always knew that at the end of the day, man, everybody can get it. Everybody is willing, if you really are behind your cause, to go out there and get it. Now, when it comes to unity, depending upon how you feel, how you were raised, how you were educated, and how seasoned you are, is gonna make that determination. I could sit here like a conspiracy theorist and try to find Bigfoot and bullshit you guys. Hey, Sasuke, I think it's gonna be all good one day. The fact of the matter is, just like the black and white issue or the black and brown issue, it's probably never gonna be what we want it to be or what we think it could be. But you don't know. You can't see the future. If you did, Sasuke, I'd be a billionaire by now, right? I can't see the future. I don't know how many views I'm going to get, probably less than I got yesterday. The game is thick and it's ugly right now, but I'm going to fight through it. But one thing I know is a fact is that when it comes to the North and South issue, the raza issue, we are a very, very prideful people. We are people when educated and when things are instilled in us, we go with that to the fullest, to the end. A lot of people get at me, and this is real. I'm being real right here. A lot of people get at me. They say, you only try to push unity and all that bullshit gun because you're no longer in the best of standings within your people. You're no longer activated, right? You're no longer doing that. And that's, again, furthest from the truth. Even when I was active and even when I was in a position to make things happen, I was out there pushing that line, I still didn't have the hatred I once had for the other side. I didn't have the hatred for the South. Even though I was taught to, it was the propaganda that was fed to me. I didn't have it anymore. And the reason I didn't have it was I did time in Southern California, and I got to see what these vatos were truly about, and I adapted to that stilo. I have so many people getting at me like, damn, gun, you wish you could have been a Southsider. Stop it. You know it. Absolutely not, man. I'm just glad I'm brown. At the end of the day, that's a beautiful thing, and that's all that matters to me. No disrespect to any of the other ethnicities. The Woods, they're cool, brother. I like them. They like coffee. They like Hogan. It is what it is. Woo! Ric Flair, right? Then when it comes to the Africano brothers, the blacks, man, I like their music. I like their talent. I like the way they get down. I like the way Terrence Crawford beat the hell out of Spencer. I like the way shit goes down like that. But at the end of the day, that's their thing, and I don't know that thing. So according to what I see, I got love and respect for it, but I'm going to continue to do me. I love some Mexicanos. I love some Mexican, right? I love everything about our cultura, our culture, our history. And when you really start getting into it, man, you start to realize, man, that we as a minority people, right, have been through so much oppression and so much struggle, man, that it is hard to go against each other. Even though I know there's tribalism and rivalries between North and South, man, this is something that was based upon the longevity of one organization, group, or another. We were utilized as a people to go against each other for the agenda of some. But at the end of the day, man, we're all the same. We're all fucking warriors. We all got it in us. It doesn't matter if you cross an imaginary line. It doesn't matter if you're from Sacra, San Fran, Salas, or Bakersfield or LA, man. We're all brown. And no one change that, right? You're as brown as you want to be. Now, when asked the question, will the North and South ever come together in unity? We've made long strides as a people, for that. There's been a lot that has changed over time. And of course, it's always going to benefit others more than some. That's the game, Holmes. If you get into the gang-related game, if you get into the streets, if you get involved in vaudevilles or hoods, you need to fucking totally understand you are not in the position of power. You are not, as a person, dictating your own program, Holmes. You're going with the flow, and you best go with it, bitch. That's how they say. You best go with it. It's like a chick, right? You got a fat chick. She knows you look fat. She knows that, she's just happy to be with you. She's going to get in there and cook whatever you want. One or two reasons. One, she don't want to lose the chorra. And two, the bitch is hungry. It's just how it is, right? And the same goes on the North and South issue, man. There's so much drama that has happened. There's so much bickering back and forth, especially in Northern California, that it's hard for people to let go of old idealisms, old ideas. You have to understand, just like when you get older, you start gravitating more towards getting the bag and making yourself self-sufficient and independent and making yourself rely on your hard work instead of others, right? Well, the same thing goes in the game. It's all about you. If you're going to be a hitter putting in that work for your people, man, that's going to be, the basis that they fucking, the foundation for your hood, for your vaudeville. If it's just a whole bunch of poop butts running around, everyone's going to recognize that and they're going to disrespect you as that. But if you got a couple hard vatos that really are true believers and they're setting that foundation, then everyone's going to run with that. And that's what your hood's going to be known as motherfuckers that don't play around, right? Now, when it comes to being together as a one people, that's a dream. A dream one wishes could come true, especially myself. And the reason I'm so dependent upon that dream coming true is it's something I want to see before I pass. Having been through so much war and fighting back and forth for reasons I really didn't know, other than some big homie told me to, or I thought that was, a cool thing to do because the Vato wore an LA hat and I wore a Golden State hat that we were supposed to go at it. I realized as I got older, man, that I loved my people so much that I didn't see colored lines or barriers anymore. I understand some people I just don't like, right? There's Vatos I just don't care for, and they might be from South or North, right? And I just don't care for the way they carry themselves or the way they act. Just like a lot of people don't like me because I'm very outspoken in what I do, because I in life my way around the the block. But that's just it. You know, there's so much hatred for one another, and it's based off mystery. It's mystery of the unknown. You can't like what you don't know, right? But once you get to know people, you come to realize, hey, man, this is a good camarada. This is a good homeboy right here. I don't give a fuck where he's from. Bakerfield, LA, Baker, right? They're cool. Will it ever happen? Will there ever be unity? To be totally blatant and honest with you, probably not. I know that within the jail system, within the California Department of Corrections, and I can't speak on all other states. I don't know what's going on over there, and I can give a fuck less. But I know when it comes to the California prison system, man, a system that I actually, frequented it, I could tell you that, a lot has changed, with the mindsets and the mentalities of the Northern and Southern causes, the people, for people, and I'm going to be straight up with you, a lot of authors ain't going to like to hear this. It's another question that's asked of me. They say, who's the hardest group while incarcerated? Who's the hardest group, period? And it ain't about who's the hardest or who's the most, unique, or who's the craziest. Because there's crazy people and down people from everywhere, man. It don't matter. Fucking, there's some dude from Illinois right now. I'm going to kill you, Gunner. Right? There's some crazy stuff in this world going on. But the most dangerous and deepest and probably organized group are the Southsiders. And reason being that they dominate by sheer numbers. If you've ever been on a yard and you truly know and understand what time it is, then you can't deny the fact. Not every yard is the same. Some yards, there's more blacks, or there's more woods, white boys, right? Or there's more Northerners or more Southerners, depending upon the geographical area that they send you while incarcerated and doing time. But the majority is always going to be the Southerners as far as in the system. It's like this. If there's 50 Southsiders and 30 Northerners on the yard, I always say there's less Northerners. So that's just usually the way it is, right? And they get into it, right? You're going to lose, say, half of the Northerners are going to go to the oil. They're going to the oil. They got caught with pieces or whatever the case may be. They get stuck. And let's say all 50 of them Southsiders go to the oil. Well, there's thousands in reception in the county jails right now waiting to take those beds. There's thousands of them, right? So as soon as the next day comes, they already filled up the beds with other Southerners, right? Because they have to keep a certain number of people on these yards, unless it becomes too vicious. And of course, they lock people down and ship people out. And they've been known to do that, like in Kern Valley when they shipped all the Northerners off because a body got caught. It's just the way it is, right? But like I said, you could win the battle, but it's hard to win the war against sheer numbers, and against people that are dedicated and eager to do something for what they believe in. People always ask me, hey, I heard the Northerners are more structured. They're more structured than a militant group. I'm not going to say they're more structured. They are a very militant group. They are a group that truly believe in what their cause is and are willing to go to the end for it. Not every person individually, not every man is about that. But as a group, as a whole, man, they do have that militant style. There were several situations that I involved myself in or that I was involved in at the time when I was active, man, that I could truly say, gente, were quietly kept, right? Just because of the nature of the violence, that's taught. When it comes to the Mexicans, period, north, south, east, it doesn't matter what you are, Latin King, fucking vice, whatever you are, right? And you're a Mexican culture, man, blood, raza, period, not even just Mexicans, the raza. Órale, see, Mr. Criminal, Argentina counts, right? Just period. I'll tell you right now, straight up, Holmes, that, it's instilled in us to go to the end, to pick up weaponry, to handle business. The Afrikaner brothers are the same way, man. Zulu Warrior Nation, JJD, J Nasa, you know what I mean? What are they? J Masaku, Asante, Kitu, right? They're down. Or J Masaku, Spencer. And the woods, this is a white man's world. You're just in it, brothers, right? UN Folgers. It's every group is going to sit here and talk about they're the top of the mountain and this and that. But I'm here to totally tell you, man, that the Southerners, as far as a group in sheer numbers, and the treacherousness and the viciousness of their nature, man, they are truly the most dangerous group. It could get dangerous at any time, man. And I'm not here trying to undercut anyone or belittle a group because, man, I was once on the other side of, the North-South conflict. I was with the Northerners to the fullest, right? And I still got a lot of love and a lot of respect for their cause and what they're doing. But I would have a lot more respect and a lot more love if I seen unity, if I seen people come together. So the question was asked, are they going to get together anytime soon? I could say not anytime soon, man. I'm starting to see in the rap game people like Gold Toes, man. Shout out and respects to that about the Mr. Toes. He's pushing that movement. He's trying to get people together musically, but that's far from gangs and street life. That's in the music tip, where people need to really real life get that bag. I'm seeing rappers come together and have conversations, which I thought I'd never see. I'm seeing on the yards, North and South play handball. I've been hearing they're selling up. I can't call it, man. I ain't gonna put that on it. I'm gonna put 2 on the 10 because I haven't been locked up for a minute since I've been up in it. But I am gonna say that there are a lot of situations where people, have told me things that there's a lot more progress. And I know to some people they're like, who gives a fuck, man? Who cares if they come together? It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal if you're truly a study of the cultura, if you're truly raza at heart, man. If you truly are brown pride and you got love for your people, it's a big thing because it's something we've never seen before. See, we've seen the brothers come together. They banged on wax for a little bit, and then they came together, tied the blue rag and the red rag together, and definitely had unity. Now, I understand there's still some dissension. There's still people that didn't take into that. Just like there's Northerners that don't take into unity, and there's Southerners that don't take into unity. There's always going to be people that are against the grain or they're against the mass movement because that's all they know. You hear about those like Bozo. He talks about it all the time. You could tell deep down in his heart he has some distaste or some hate for the Northerners, right? Now, I don't know what they ever did to him because he hadn't did a lot of time incarcerated. But whatever it is, man, he truly and honestly believes that they're beneath the Southern raza. No one is beneath no one, bro. Everybody is right here, Holmes. Everybody is doing their thing. It's what you make of it. It's what you truly believe. I did that about the way he ain't all bad because he believes that. That's what I was taught. The same thing he was taught, only on the other side, the flip side. He was Popeyes, I was Kentucky Fried Chicken. Wait a, strike that. He was Kentucky, I was Popeye, right? So either way, we both had the same mentality towards each other. But it's how you grow up, and as you get older and you have that chip on your shoulder, how you push that off, man, and get more positive in your life. Can you truly sit back as a gang member, as a Norteño or Sureño, Southsider, Northerner, whatever you want to call it, whatever label you decide to put on it, man, for the day? Can you truly sit back and say you want your children to turn out the same way you did or go through some of the hardships? If you've been shot, stabbed, hurt, beat, battery packed, then you understand, how it feels to be thrown in the oil, maced up and like, damn, it burns. It fucking burns, right? Do you want your child to go through that? No, none of us do. No person in their right mind, that's time to be something. No person in their right mind wants their kid to go through that. You don't want it to go down like that, right? Well, the only way it's not going to go like that is if you instill an education into your child and let them know, man, just like you tell them when it comes to the gay issue, watch out, everyone does it. Trip out on this. It's hard to tell your kid, hey, you don't want them to go that route because hey, you want them to be independent and live their life. But you can't have fucking Pee-wee with the Herman, right? You can't have, your fucking son, Jose, bringing Juan back, right? Because it's just not right in your heart. But the way you do it is you let them know, hey, everybody's the same. Treat everybody with respect. Yeah, even though out there with the fucking Adam's apple the size of a nectarine, right? Everybody's cool. But don't do what they're doing, right? You have your way of doing it, right? And saying it. Well, it's the same thing with North and South, man. You might, when you were younger, generations and times change where you were like, fuck them mother vatos, they ain't nothing like us. They can never compete with the heat that we bring. And I still ain't got paid for 187 on a car. I started your shit. I will end your shit. Snoop diggy doggone crib, right? It's not like that. Now it's like, mijo, look, you want this? They're on the other side. Dad, what other side? The side we don't fuck with, right? But they're Mexican, right? And so you have ways of doing that too. Times have changed, seasons have changed. It's all about the raza coming together to open up doors for our gente, for our younger team, our younger crowd, our youth, right? When I first started this YouTube shit, I was on the youth head, tough, painted fingernails, skin tight, TikTok pants. They're doing the wobble, the wobble, the wobble, the wobble. I was on it. And I was clowning and capping and having a good time. And at the end of the day, I sat back and realized, man, maybe I was going a little too hard on the younger generation, man, because I once was there. I remember my tios used to tell me, hey, what the fuck you think you are? You think you're tough? I am tough, right? I thought it was bad. I mean, I wasn't. I definitely wasn't. I was dumb. I was mixed up. I was discombobulated, right? And then I was flabbergasted when I really got in the mix and seen how it was. The treacherousness, the betrayal, the fucking way people, did you. And it was always your closest homeboys. Some of those things, man, I think back on, I reminisce, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe I was involved in that. I slowed myself down in the game, and that's understandable. Anyways, for the people that are asking, man, will North and South come together in unity? I hope. man. I truly hope. I don't see too many more differences, you know. So okay, we're waiting on an alien invasion. I said we ain't got time for all this bullshit, right? Um, I talked to a lot of Southsiders, right? Vatos that are from down south. My primos are from Wilmas, that area, right? And they say to me, just like everyone else does, like, hey, bro, we don't even have anything against you, Vatos. Only when we get locked up, it's all business. Well, if it's all business, Holmes, let the vibe and let different things be our business, you know, because if we don't come together as a gente and as a people, man, and we continue to tear each other down just based on some old ways of thinking, you know, we're never going to achieve. We're never going to leap over, man. You know, I sit here on YouTube and me and Dubs and we talk, man. And, you know, he grew up in Southern California. I grew up in Northern California. And we both had our mindsets. And in YA, if we'd have met each other, said, yeah, to try to fucking, I would have been ducking those big old fists he has. That's a big old fist. I'd have been said, give it your short, eh? I'd have been hitting. Hey, we would have did our thing. And now we sit back and we laugh and we reminisce and we tell YA stories and joke. And it's a good time, right? But at the end of the day, I'm sure he agrees when I say, you know, that mentality we had, we're much different now. We grew up. We overcame that, you know. Will North and South ever come together as a people? I hope, man, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. There's still too many obstacles. There's too much hatred, bloodshed, and I know as far as like the upstate Southerners and the Northerners, they still go at it daily, man. There's still so much tension and drama. And I remember I used to be in the mix too. It's like, where you from, man? You know what I mean? If I seen the LA hat, it was like the Matrix, right? I was ready to get on it, and they felt the same way about me if they seen the San Francisco Giants hat. So, you know, a lot of the shit that I do, man, is for fun. A lot of the shit that I do is just to have a good time. And, you know, I speak on a little hood shit, but really, truly, I truly believe, man. And I'm not taking into account the way you feel about me. You can hate me or love me, man. The guns on top, and I'm going to shine, homeboy, until my heart stops. So you could definitely not like me for whatever the case may be, but you can't deny, man, that I've came into YouTube pushing the narrative of unity because the struggle, man, is not for everybody. I went through it. Thank God every day I no longer have to go through it. I don't intend to, but that's what it is. So before I let you guys go, I'm going to tell you a little story real quick, man. One of my homeboys. So my homeboy was locked up, and he was there he just got out recently, but he was there right around the time of the hunger strikes. He went through all the hunger strikes. You know, the end of hostilities, the agreement between North, South, the brothers and the whites to end certain conflicts. So that way, you know, the agenda was to get everybody from the back to the front. Basically, anyone that was doing time in the shoe or doing time validated, you know, to get them back out on them yards. So that way they could, you know, enjoy the fruits of the, you know, basically social status of equality. They can get out of the oil and do their time, man, a little bit more freedom. I believe for a lot of those people that did decades behind them walls, decades in them shoes and them dungeons, that was like basically freedom, you know, getting out. You know, a lot of them, I'm sure it was hard to adapt. But anyways, he was there around that time. He went through all that. He did his shoot time. He was somebody at some point in time. He no longer wiggles like that. He chose to walk away from the situation for whatever reason he has. But trip out. He told me, you know, one of the stories he told me that was basically the story that set him off to walk away. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to hear, but this is the truth. He said he was on the yard with several well-known people in a northern faction. They were doing their thing, and there was a lot of interaction between them and the South. And you got to understand, he grew up like me, same body, same hood. We were always against the grain, basically against them other people on the other side, right? And he said there was so much interaction that he couldn't fathom ever conversating or being cool like that. You know, it was against everything he truly believed in. Ultimately, he's seen a Southerner disrespect a Northerner, and I've to take it. And it wasn't for him. And he tried to make something happen, and it didn't go down for one reason or another. And you can't go against the grain, man. If the people say no, the people say no. And eventually he decided to bounce, man. He decided it wasn't for him. Everything that he taught, he felt was frivolous. And that's it. Some people have that mentality. Now I talk to him, and I instill truth in him. I instill, hey, bro, you know what I mean? We're all the same, bro. I did time at YA. Hey, there was times when I backed these vatos up, they backed me up. Let me tell you, when it came to a black and brown thing, we definitely were all on the same side. And I've told that story before, you know, how the Southerners walked up to us and they're like, hey, the Africanos are getting crazy. Are you guys down to rock? We were down. And it wasn't because we hated brothers, because we had a lot of love for the brothers, but it was because it was truly what was necessary at that time for the raza to, you know, prevail. And total victory is the mindset for all people. You know, every different ethnicity, I say ethnicity because we're all a human race, right? Not different races, different cultures, different ethnicities. Every different ethnicity is going to rock for theirs. If you don't bump your fucking head. Milk 7-4, right? You don't bump your head and you don't know what you are, who you are. But that's just it. Anyways, with that being said, gente, man, a little bit of game, a little bit of clecha today. Will North and South ever come together? I hope, but I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think there's always going to be that person every day, man, that is going to stop that. What it's going to take, man, is those that are in the power, those that are, like Dub says, legendary, to just say, that's it. It's done. We're cool. And then it'll happen. Until then, it's always going to be drama. With that being said, I hope that drops some game for you guys. I got the burpees. I'm about to go fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken and smash me one of them bowls. Dub says they're bomb. I'm going to try one. Fuck it. Why not? Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and struggle and strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, man. And that is, the coming together of all people. I know what I believe. I know how I'm rocking. I know I don't see North or South anymore. To me, it's an optical illusion. Now what I see is brown people getting their boogum, 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 boogum on. Rocha y todo. The gun. Bang, bang. Ooh, they gonna hate this one. Bang.